I was Zach Barnes, 145-pound junior Folkstyle national champion. I know you like to razz your dad about his ping pong game on Twitter, but that had to have been pretty cool having him in your corner. What was that like to win a national title with your dad in your corner?
It felt great. I mean, it was his first real national title. I mean, little kid stuff like AAU national and stuff won that, but that's not really anything big. It's a pretty big accomplishment, but I'm still hungry to beat my dad in ping pong, so it's a rivalry. We'll have to continue later on.
Typical or kind of a consummate Zach Barnes match there, coming from behind in third period. When you can wear on a guy for a couple periods and it's still close, what kind of confidence does that give you?
Well, he took me down. Just kind of frustrating because I usually like to score first. I mean, it's ideal, but then I could see I got my escape. We went out of bounds a couple times. I could see he was fading and just livens me up a little bit, you know. Plus, you can win the match still, most definitely, but felt good.
You've been really close in past years, in national tournaments and on the podium and on the podium at state to make the jump this year and become a state champion and a national champion. How have you done it? What have been the biggest keys?
Really just focusing on, I've always wrestled hard. I don't have to teach myself that, going the whole time, wrestling the whole match, but focusing on, thinking how they're thinking almost. What can I do to make this guy feel uncomfortable here? I've never really thought position like that, and I started doing that this year and last year, and it's helped a lot.
What led to that?
Coach C told me, we had a conversation one time, I think it was my sophomore year, he told me that I only for as hard as I work, I'm only about 25% efficient. I need to start making 100%. All my efforts turn into points. So.
Yeah, I think we had that conversation in Wells Fargo here a year ago. The program this year, a couple guys in the finals here, I think 4 or 5 guys on the stand, maybe.
Yep, 5.
It seems like you've seen that program go from contending for state championships now to taking it to another level, can you kind of speak to the confidence that people have within your Southeast Polk program now?
Well, I mean, the tradition we built gives kids a certain confidence. When you're part of the program, even if you're not the guy necessarily, you're still part of Southeast Polk, and the weight that carries to see it on JV kids' faces, be bragging about our wrestling program and they're not on the varsity team yet, it just shows you how important it is and how amazing what Southeast Polk's done. They built a dynasty. So
you're going off to Campbell.
Yep.
That program is reaching new levels. So a lot of exciting things happen there. Nathan Kreiser becoming the first All-American in program history, and Coach Colott talking about maybe some improvements. Can you kind of speak to what you liked about Campbell in the beginning and what you're looking forward to about going down there?
Well, I went down there and I was talking to Colott, and what he said to me, he was talking to me about why he recruited me and stuff with Garrett Kiley from Iowa is the one who showed him me. And he was saying he was watching my videos and he noticed I'm gritty, I'm tough. And what he said to me, we were in his office on my visit, and he goes, imagine how good you could be if you knew how to wrestle. And that kind of sparked something in my mind. I was like, this guy, what if I knew how to wrestle? So that's why I'm going there.
Well, you got to know, I know what he means, but you got to know how to wrestle a little bit to become a national champion. In what areas are you most excited to, work with him and have him get his hands on you, and where do you think he can help you along the furthest?
I think finishing my shots is a big one, and then learning how to ride. In Division I wrestling, you got to be able to ride and turn people to be successful at that level. So I'm excited for that.